Well, hello everyone. The OntarioGardener here, back with another PlateUp automation tutorial. In today's episode, we are going to be talking about sushi. Now, you may say, well, sushi isn't in the game, and you're right, it's not. But it is a modded card, just like the garlic bread, or I call it cheesy bread because there's no garlic on it, which I have a video out already. It is in the workshop, the Steam workshop. It is a trusted mod. It does work. You can put things in the prep stations now. Things have been changed and adjusted for that. You do need a couple things for this that are very, very key. You need a couple smart grabbers. You need 3 smart grabbers. One taking the seaweed and rice sheet, one taking the seaweed sheet, and one taking the cooked seaweed single piece out. And I highly recommend downloading the smart grabber mod from the workshop as well. And what that does is it doesn't allow smart grabbers to be reset during the gameplay, during the day. You have to set them in practice mode only because, as you know, and I've described in many of my other automation videos as of late, as well as my Leafy Greens Cafe series from a few months ago, is smart grabbers will randomly reset themselves. So if you're watching this and you watched my first video that I had out, I do thank you for coming back. So what was happening is this smart grabber here was resetting itself, and it would break this whole system. And smart grabbers are we still don't know, the devs still don't know why smart grabbers randomly reset themselves when there's nothing being pushed onto them. Like, here's a counter, nothing's being pushed from here onto this, but it was resetting itself. Again, if you saw that episode or that tutorial, this is the updated version. And also, prep stations work. Before, you couldn't put sushi into a prep station, now you can. So let's run this and I'll explain how it works. All right, we'll start up here with the seaweed. The seaweed comes through, it gets cooked, it gets pulled by this smart grabber, single slice, it'll get combined onto this one, it'll form the nori sheet, I believe, that's what this smart grabber is set for. It'll pull it down here, the cooked rice will get automatically put on here, the avocado get put on, the fish will get put on. Now the mixer here is doing the kneading or the rolling action, and it's doing the chopping action because you have to chop it before you portion it, which is kind of odd. You'd think chopping it would be the portioning action, but it's not, obviously. And you get 4 pieces of sushi per sushi log, I guess. And I believe sushi is 3 coins, so it's not so one sushi log will give you 12 coins, which is not a lot for the amount of work that goes involved, because you have to cook the seaweed, you have to cook the rice. The fish you don't cook, you just chop, and then in the avocado you just chop as well. So it's not that involved as far as cooking, but the rice you have to cook every single time. The nori sheets you have to double up. You have to cook 2 of them, 2 of the seaweed sheets to make the sheet. And you may see this carousel and you're like, well, how can I make that stop? Well, you can't. The only way you could do this is if you would put I don't know how you could, honestly. Basically, the way you would have to do it is you'd have to set up a smart grabber system here, so this only pulls empty woks, but you'd have to shift all this stuff. You'd have to move this over here. But again, this doesn't change anything. This will just cycle. It really doesn't mean anything. I'm just going to pull a bunch of pieces off here just to show you how it will cycle through again. It'll keep working. There you go. The whole system is now up and running again. And you may make a mistake of okay, well, how do I make it? How do I make it? Well, you need the seaweed, you need the rice, you need a chopped fillet, not cooked. So you don't want to use a heated mixer for this. And then the avocado over here is just being chopped, basically. I love the avocado animation here. It looks like there's the pit there, which, I mean, you obviously would remove the pit if you are actually eating an avocado. You don't eat the pit or the seed inside. But nonetheless, this is how you automate sushi. It's a fun one. I personally believe it needs some tweaks to it to make it a main dish that's actually worth taking for the amount of work that's involved and how little the coins are given out. And again, that's as of the recording of this video, how little of the coins you get for a sushi roll. I wouldn't be taking this, but it is a fun one to try. It is also fun to have this carousel. You can't really change this. I guess if you would put this, you could corner grab in the middle here. Let's get out of this. I guess you could put a corner grabber here, but the problem with doing this is I've done this before. Is actually you can't put a corner grabber here because you can't do it like this because you need to have. This is my problem before. Why I have this extra space here is because 4 woks will fill 1, 2, 3, and 4 spaces, which won't let them carousel around. You need to have 1 open space always to have something that has automation like this. So you have 4 woks, so you need to have at least 5 open spaces, and we have 6 because you can't really do 5 with a square. But you have to, this is a key element as well, because if not, this will just back up and the system will break as well. So that is Sushi. Get the mod on the Steam Workshop. I also highly recommend getting the Smart Grabber mod that doesn't allow Smart Grabbers to be reset during the day. Otherwise, some of these things could be reset as you're going along, and it'll break your system, which is unfortunate. So, all right, guys, thank you so much for joining me. If you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving me a like as well as a comment. Much appreciated. And if you're enjoying this series of automation tutorials and the new Chinese New Year content, as well as the other videos on my channel, please hit that subscribe button. It would really help me out for getting to my next goal. And if you have an automation that you haven't seen me do yet, other than beans, because you can't automate beans, please leave it in the comments below, and I'm sure to get that automated. Take care now.